Now that we have the height of the minor axis of the bottom ellipse, we have a skeleton to build on. Now let us draw the ellipses beginning at the top. Remember, as we cross each of the points created by the minor and major axis, the outline has to be perpendicular. Also remember, we are drawing a circle in perspective. So when you reach the corners, don't bring them to a point. It is a changing curve. Now let us draw the bottom ellipse. We follow the same thought process and draw it. We'll draw the back edge of the ellipse but very lightly as we need to get rid of it and erase it later. We are only drawing it to give us a sense of symmetry. Now let us clean up our drawing. Erase all unwanted construction lines and any smudges. Straighten up the edges of the cylinder. Using a ruler to draw the verticals of the cylinder. I would advise you not to do so, as when we draw with a ruler, we tend to draw with a point, and later, when we are rendering the form, those lines will be hard to erase or lighten, and sometimes it indents the paper, which is permanent. Now the next thing we are going to do in our line drawing is to lay down the shadow edge. This is something new. We did not encounter this in our drawing of the cube, as the cube had an entire shadow plane, but with the cylinder, as it is a rounded shape, we have a point where the surface turns away from the light, and that is called the terminator or the form shadow edge. Remember the terminator from the light lesson? This is the divide between light and shadow on the surface of the cylinder. On a cylinder, the shape of the form shadow is simple, it's a stripe. On a more complex form, the shadow will have a more complex shape. Now let us also draw in the cast shadow. It has a shape, angle, and length. Follow the process, gauge the angles, draw the lines for the outer edges of the cast shadow. We can find the length by finding a diagonal from the top of the cylinder to the outer edge of the cast shadow. The cast shadow can be fuzzy and it's hard to determine where they end. In those cases, choose a spot where you think it ends and draw it accordingly. Now let us lay down our ground plane. There you go, we have a linear construction of a cylinder which is ready for a tonal stage of our drawing. If you have got any value from this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more.